Well, greetings, YouTube. I'll start off by saying that if I can't see, but if I have a piece of lettuce stuck in my teeth, it's because Charlie and I just sat and ate one of those ready-made salads, trying to lose a little weight after Thanksgiving. So we just sat in the park here. And yeah, that's it. But okay, so what's today's video about? All that rustling around is Charlie taking a dump. He has to walk back and forth like 6 times to get the right spot to offload his cargo. So a couple things. I'm gonna try my best to not cuss in this video because I realize I do when I'm passionate about stuff and I really let my hair down. I got a pretty foul mouth, and you know, I know it gets old after a while, so I'm going to try and clean it up. This one is going to be, guess what? No surprise. I want to talk a little bit more about racism in America for a couple of reasons. You know, I got a couple of comments on my last one I just did the other day about Susan Rice, and that turned into that discussion, or that monologue turned into one on racism, and I brought it up before. I don't know if you've seen my video, A Cracker Speaks Out, or whatever. But I don't know, one guy commented to me. He said, he was a black guy, and he said, yeah, you know, whenever I hear your videos on racism, I'm paraphrasing, he said, well, what the hell did he say? He said, whenever I see your videos on racism, when you speak about good black people, like Martin Luther King, you do it with sort of a negative twist to it. So the way I read his comment, and he got a little bit more involved in that, or in depth, but the way I interpreted it was, you know, that he thought that I was trying to mask my racism by throwing in a few, like, good examples of, you know, Allen West and Martin Luther King, and then that way I felt like I was free to, oh man, what a cool looking bird sitting there, that I felt that I was free to go ahead and say whatever I wanted to say. You know, that I had shielded myself from being a racist. Charlie, what are you... Hang on a second, it's a sticker bush. Come here. We're walking a sticker bush. You know, so why am I so hung up on racism, and why am I putting these videos out on this channel? You know, I made another video before, and this is how I think regarding tactics, and I explained in that video that my version of tactics and tactical preparedness is not necessarily on the combat, you know, on the battlefield. It doesn't always involve, you know, struggles of life and death, per se. I look at tactical awareness and preparedness as everyday life. Life is a battlefield in some fashion or another. I mean, and I don't want to detract too much, but, you know, whether you're battling it out in divorce court, or you're, you know, behind on bills and they're threatening to repo your car, or worse, take your house. You know, we go to war every day, and you know, everything is involved in the battle of life. And I don't mean that in such a negative way. I mean, life is beautiful, of course, but, you know, his thing about this one commenter and a couple other commenters on my videos talking about me and racism. Look, race, in my opinion, race is a huge, huge part of what's going on in America today. And it needs to be discussed, in my opinion. Let me let the dog off the leash here so he can go in the water. Come here. Wait, come here. Come here. Wait. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Charlie, you gonna go in the water? Anyways, man, the water is nice and calm today. Oh, they're gonna blow something up across the river. Watch this. It's okay, Charlie. Come here. Charlie's getting used to that, but that scares the crap out of him sometimes. Good boy. Does that feel good? That feels good? Oh, he's a good boy. Look at him. He's a good boy. Just look at that awesome dog, man. There's no dog on earth as cool as Charlie. Just look at him. I know I gotta force you guys to watch my dog, but I mean, come on, man. That is one cool dog. He's a good boy. All right. Talking about racism and negative stuff when you're in a very beautiful setting is a little challenging. But, where was I? You know, racism is one of the most under-discussed, but most, one of the most serious subjects that has a direct influence on what's going on. I mean, everything I say is my opinion, and it's all arguable and debatable, and I wish more people would leave comments and maybe even make some other videos, response videos. But you know, it could be argued that there were racial ramifications to this last election. Now, right now, there's going to be a certain amount of blacks and a few whites that will say, "Oh, this guy's going to blame the loss of the election on race." But before you do that, I ask you to be honest with yourself. You can comment whatever you like to pose on the internet, but be honest with yourself and just ask yourself and imagine what would have happened if Romney would have won the election. You don't think race would have been an issue? I submit to you that the streets of Rome, aka the United States, would be burning even today. You know, there would be allegations of cheating in the polls. There would be so much racial violence and issues had he won that the only reason that there's not like a Los Angeles riots on a national level is because Obama won again. And that really says something about the personalities of the different demographics. Well, what are you saying, that blacks are the cause of all the violence? The cool thing, and this will be covered in the video, about being in my situation is that I can actually say what I want to say and what I think. And the truth is, yeah, that is absolutely right. If you pissed off 100 white people, 5 of them are going to get physical. You piss off 100 black people, and 90 of them are going to start breaking shit. Sorry, I cussed. That is a racist statement in some people's opinion. In my mind, that is not racist at all. I'm not afraid of the label of racist. If I thought I was racist, believe me, I would absolutely tell you. I also want to bring up a couple. There's another guy. God, I gotta remember this guy's name. He's got his own. I'm gonna start listening to more of this guy's stuff. He's a black guy, and I was watching a couple of his videos. Man, this dude is awesome. If you haven't seen him, I'm gonna put the name on the video right here. It'll be scrolling across your screen. You have got to check this guy out. He's got his shit wired very tight, and he's a black guy. And it was so predictable right when I watched a couple of his videos. As I scrolled down, within a couple of comments, there were already people calling him a sellout and an Uncle Tom. Because you see, in this racist world that we live in, a black person cannot think for himself or herself. If a black person, look what happened to... what was that good-looking black girl that was at the Republican convention? Mia? I don't remember her last name. Pretty sexy chick. But immediately she took all kinds of flack from the left that she had sold out. And what an insult to black people. That they cannot think for themselves or have an opposing opinion, or they've sold out their entire race. That is such manipulation and so terrible. Sorry about that. And it is that kind of... No, he's going to go chase a deer. It's that kind of thinking that is literally keeping America from moving forward. So many of us, as I've said in the past, really believed we would be so far away from the racism and all the racial issues that we suffer today. By the time, I'm 50 years old, man, and I never would have imagined it would be this screwed up. Charlie, stay by Daddy. Come here, not too far away. So, I don't want him to go taking off after a deer. So, my background a little bit as far as race goes, because I put this in so many comments, I want to put it out here on this video, so I don't have to keep responding to these guys that want to call me a racist. When I had said in many of my comments that I'd never dated a white woman, that's true. I have dated black girls before when I was in the Army. I was married for 20 years, so I wasn't doing a lot of dating, but my ex-wife was Hispanic, and my current wife is Vietnamese. The definition of racism is somebody that thinks that their race is supreme, and they exclude anyone that's not within their race. That's not me, man. If I don't want to tell you my whole dating history, or my new wife, she'll kill me because she's Asian, which means she's really good with the cutlery. Oh, he made a racial joke. I hear something sneaking around the woods, and so does Charlie. Look at this. What is that? What is it? What is that? There's a Bigfoot in the woods coming out. It's crashing through the forest. It's scary. So, just to get this on the record, so that I don't have to keep on repeating it. I'm from Los Angeles. I was born in Inglewood, or I was born actually in Glendale, but I was raised in Inglewood and Hawthorne. That's South LA. My whole life. I mean, I was like a piece of salt in a pepper shaker. I was one of the very few white people in my neighborhood, and as a result of that, I have weathered my fair share of violence based on the fact that I was a white guy in a black neighborhood. Without any exaggeration at all, I couldn't tell you how many bikes I've been knocked off of or had taken at knife point. Those are robberies. They meet the criteria: force or fear. I've woke up and there were, guys prowling through my house. One was standing over my mother. These are all black guys. Not because blacks are evil, but because I live in a black neighborhood. And this is just to put things in context as far as my own experience. Some people, they call me a redneck because I'm in the woods and I'm wearing I'm in Virginia now, and like I said, I'm proud to be considered a redneck. I think it's cool. I like this lifestyle out here. My great-great-grandmother was 94 years old in a rest home, and a black guy in Inglewood, California, crawled through the window, first floor window, and raped her multiple times, almost killed her. When she was younger, in her 80s, she was walking back from the bank, and a guy grabbed her purse, black guy, and old Irish lady, and she pulled the purse back, and he cut her arm to the bone. True story. Friends of mine, when I was growing up, when I went in the Army, they robbed a liquor store and killed the guy behind the counter. My friends were black, of course, and so one of them is in prison for the rest of his life as a result of that. Had friends die. I've been around the racial, and of course, when I was a police officer, I did all the majority of it was in the south side of Los Angeles. I talk about my stepfather. It's common law stepfather. He's a black guy, and he's a former gangbanger from the South End, and he's been with my mom now for 14 years. That makes him my stepfather by any stretch. Illegally, he is a common law husband of my mom. And him and I, it took years for him because of he assumed I was a racist because I was a former cop. So people have their shit. Oh, sorry. People have their preconceived beliefs and ideas, and they want to put a label on somebody. Is it possible that I'm still a racist? Of course it is. I can tell you on the subject of race that I just am, the reason I'm speaking out is I'm sick and tired of the double standard. This whole thing that a white guy can't talk about a black guy without being a racist. I joke around and say that if you just say the color black, you're a racist. Today I tweeted on my Twitter account at Airborne80 that I would bet anybody that eventually they'll have to stop calling it Black Friday after Thanksgiving, because somebody will be offended and they'll say it's a racial thing. Hang on a second. Let me throw a stick to the dog. He's getting bored. Charlie, hang on. Oh God. Where's a stick when you need one? Oh man, that tree ain't gonna break. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Quit rushing me. If you guys want to come along with me when I'm walking Charlie, you got to deal with this kind of stuff. He's like a kid. Here, go get it. Go get it. He's like me. He's lazy. He just walks out there. Go get it. Look how shallow it is today. I think it's a low tide today. That's it? You're not going to get the stick? How rude. Charlie, go get it. Go get it. Are you serious? I'm taking you to the dog pound on the way home. You're out of here. We'll get a dog that listens to me. But, Charlie, stay by Daddy. Where are you going? Charlie, stay by Daddy. So, one of the things I was thinking about, too, when I was thinking about this video was, and I tweeted this out, too, because, of course, my tweets are almost exclusively political. It's all I can do, man. I'm struggling for what I believe in, just like those who struggled to get Obama voted or elected, they did what they believed in. So I'm the other side of that coin, all right? Hardcore conservative, and I think Obama, a screwed up president. I'll bleep that out because it's fun to use the little bleep machine. But what did I say? Oh, I had tweeted out that a lot of people. Most people, when if they're tweeting out while they're at work or they're on the internet, they can't really even respond honestly because we live in such a manipulated political correctness society that you stand to lose your job for taking a stance on this subject. If somebody was to say, "Hey, I really agree with you, LMS," and their boss was walking by, probably be fired for that. But I can tell you that where I used to work at, not the LAPD, but where I used to work at just in my last career, is extremely racist. And on the behalf of the black people that worked there, just unbelievable. They could say anything they wanted, and you wouldn't believe some of the things they would say. And one of the higher ranking guys there, man, that like number 2 in charge was a black guy, full on racist guy. They didn't even make an attempt to hide it. Just crazy stuff, and people are afraid to act. I had his boss, a white guy, tell me when I said, "Hey, why is this dude trying to fire me all the time?" And he brushed his arm, he did one of these, like that. In other words, he didn't want to even utter the words, but he was telling me that the guy didn't like me because I'm a white guy. If I was a black guy and that situation was reversed, I'd own the company. So, my feelings on political correctness, they were probably a good idea, just like communism, free stuff for everybody. It's a good idea. The problem is it doesn't work. Socialism and communism and all that, it doesn't work. The people in charge at the very, very top are rich and everyone else suffers in that world. In a political correct world, it has been perverted, actually. Political correctness has been converted to basically silence anybody who wants to speak what they consider the truth. When I guarantee you, if you're a white person and you're standing by the water cooler at work and you want to tell a story about something that happened to you, to your buddy, if that happened to be about a black person, you look left and right and left, and you make sure that the area is clear, and then you lower your voice. The guy was a black guy, because you can't even have a discussion because of fear of being labeled a racist. So, you know what? This is a time in my life where I've made a decision that I just don't care anymore. I'm going to speak and say and do what I want to do, because what I speak and what I say comes from the heart. And the reality is, unless you're an absolute idiot, no matter how much you hate my guts, you also know that at least 90% of what I'm saying is true. I got an inbound Apache helicopter getting ready to take me out. It's probably got a black pilot who overheard me on a listening device talking about black people. That's a joke. Hey, it's not an Apache, it's a Chinook. I used to jump out of those when I was in the Army. Fun. So yeah, racism, you're going to hear me talking a lot more about it, because what happens to the future of this country is going to be based on a lot of different issues, and race is going to be right up there in the top 3. That's the pressure that we are all under, and in my opinion, Obama has done more than his fair share to divide us. I mean, it's 2012. Why does anybody with a brain in their head give a crap about what color somebody's skin is? The reason I bring it up, and the reason it matters to me, is because when your skin color is the first thing you think about when you get out of bed, and you think about it throughout the day, then in my mind, it's okay, Charlie. You are hey, there's a black crow over my head cussing at me. You couldn't make this stuff up. But yeah, if that's what you think about, if your color, if you're a black person, and the fact that you're black is, you're thinking about that prime all day long, then you're not doing your part to equalize and make people the same. And that means that maybe there's a part of you that doesn't want to. So ask yourself, what would you be giving up? And if you're a racist white person, ask yourself, why are you racist? Are you racist because you think that the skin color makes a difference, or are you racist because you're angry at reverse racism, which I hate that term. Racism is racism. Do things like the Black Caucus and National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and BET, do those things piss you off? They piss me off. So maybe that makes me a racist by some people's definition. But I don't think it doesn't meet my definition. Some of my best friends are black. Well, the fact of the matter is the color of a person's skin means nothing to me. But the content and character of that person's heart, that means everything. And I can't stand somebody that wants something special because of how they look. So I don't even know if I made any good points. Charlie, come here. Where are you going? But if I think of anything else, I'll add to it. But I gotta go catch my dog. Take care. Charlie.